Tonight, we gaze out into a magical realm where the impossible becomes possible. If you can't believe your eyes, then our contestants have done their job. Thankfully, we have a pair of experts whose sight for sleight of hand is well above 20/20. Please welcome our all-seeing masters of magic, Penn and Teller! Going to try to bust each magician they see. If they can't, that magician wins an all-expenses-paid trip to Vegas to perform in their show and international bragging rights. Let's see who's up first.
My name is Damian James, and I do ventriloquism, special effects, and magic. I've always kind of been a shy person, so a puppet was a way of kind of coming out of my shell because they could get away with anything. Who's Penn and Teller? I got into special effects makeup to change the way I looked by adding prosthetics and playing different characters. So I just kind of disappeared, acting as kind of the wizard behind the curtain. And they're the same techniques that are done by Hollywood. It actually ended up being another career for me. Where's my check? No, Tonight, I'll be performing as myself, not in prosthetics or as a character. It would actually be really cool to fool Penn and Teller as a ventriloquist because I know that Penn Jillette absolutely hates puppets and ventriloquists. Well, the feeling is mutual.
It's time to enter the bizarre world of Damian James.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you a question. Time travel. What would you do if you were able to alter the very fabric of time and space itself? I'll tell you what I would do. I'd do a magic trick. And tonight, we're actually going to travel into the future 6 whole months to do a very special magic trick with the help of my time machine. Now, this may not look like an advanced science time machine, but this is the shabby chic retro model. I paid extra for it to look like this. I can assure you it's relatively safe. All I have to do is adjust the flux capacitor to 6 months from now. And here we go. Wow, what a trip. 6 months in the future. I can't believe it. But, you know, a lot has changed in the past 6 months. For instance, we no longer use language to communicate. We only use emojis. In fact, I actually have some educational flashcards that basically they're from the communications program of the President Donald J. Trump school. Although that doesn't really narrow it down. In 6 months, that's what all the schools are called. But I need the assistance of somebody. Can I get Allison to join me for a moment? Allison Hannigan. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Nice to meet you. So I have here all these different emojis. So what they're in no particular order. There's no distinguishable marks on the back. What I'd like you to do is just touch the back of one of the emojis. That one right there? Okay, I'm going to show you this one. Now, please remember that emoji. I'm going to show everybody. Everybody remember what that is. Otherwise, the end of the trick is really going to suck. All right, thank you very much. Allison, thank you. All right. Now, I sense a little bit of skepticism in the audience. Perhaps some people don't actually believe we've traveled 6 months into the future, and I get that, but I can prove it. Who better to help me try to fool present-day Penn and Teller than from 6 months in the future, the newly named Teller and Penn? Wow, Teller, Penn, what an honor it is to be on stage with you. Who are you? Well, I'm Damian James. Who am I? Well, you're Penn Jillette. Although you don't really sound like Penn. Well, you're a lousy impersonator. Well, maybe your voice has actually changed. I mean, We've just traveled in the future 6 months. Really? Yeah. So is that younger me sitting down there? That's right. That's you from 6 whole months ago. Wow. I looked so hungry. Okay. Well, Penn, do you remember anything from the past 6 months? Not a lot. Last thing I remember, we had a ventriloquist on Fool Us, killed the ratings, show got canceled. God, I hate puppets. All right. Well, I guess we should say hi to Teller. Hi, Teller. And life of the party as usual. All right. I see you nailed down his voice. Okay, well, yeah, all right. Well, anyway, we actually are going to do a magic trick. I had Allison choose an emoji. Well, I'll take it from here. Earlier today, when Teller was taking his nap, I surgically implanted a stick of dynamite into his chest. Well, what's the trick? Well, I have to guess Allison's emoji before the dynamite goes off. Before, well, if you don't, well, Teller goes interstellar. Okay. Either way, it's good TV. Okay. All right. It sounds a little graphic. I think the censors might have a little bit of an issue with that. If anything does go wrong. Ah, to hell with it. Just cover him with a hanky or something. I got one in my back pocket. You got one here? Okay. All right. That's my diaper. Okay. Just cover him up. Okay. Oh, my God. I'm floating. Okay. Now Teller is covered, so what do we do? No, I gotta try and find the emoji. Okay, all right. But first, the detonator. Okay, okay, that's back here. Okay, all right. On goes the timer, and now to find the emoji. All right, check this out. Okay, look on the back of my head. It's a new reveal we're working on. A new reveal. Okay, I'm looking at your head. What do you see? Liver spots? No, not just any liver spots. They're in the shape of Allison's emoji, the 3 of clubs. Okay, well, do you see it? I do see something. It's kind of like, actually like a raised growth. I think you should probably get that looked at, Penn, but I gotta say that the 3 of clubs is not an emoji. It's not? No. Well, I can't turn off the detonator. What do you mean? Well, just try the off button isn't working. Do you know how to turn it off? Yeah. Well, can you turn it off? No. Why not? I didn't find the emoji. Oh, I know, but the timer's going to go off pretty soon. Well, sorry, Teller. Okay. I'm going to miss you, buddy. Okay, well, all right. Well, what a senseless tragedy. That cloth cost $20. Okay. What was your emoji, Allison?
The umbrella.
He got it! That's it. I'm Penn. That was Teller. And who are you? Damien James. Thank you. Good night.
Damien James!
Thank you.
Wow. Have you always done this with Penn and Teller, or is it just...
You know what? This is a one-time thing. It's the only time I'm going to do this. So I actually built the puppets myself. So yeah.
They're absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So where did you come up with this idea?
Well, I thought, you know, what would be a neat idea to be able to mix puppetry and magic and
blood.
Yeah, and fake blood. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I thought, you know, what better place to do it than here, right?
Nice. So you've given yourself quite a challenge to do Can you help me say that word? Ventriloquism and magic together.
That's right. I thought it'd be kind of a neat challenge to, you know, see what I could come up with.
Can you teach me how to be a ventriloquist? Or say ventriloquist? Because I'm having struggles with that.
Well, I say that the secret to being a ventriloquist is basically practicing in front of a mirror, trying to talk without moving your lips, and, you know, and then from there, you know, holding onto a sock and...
So you started with the sock and now you have Penn and Teller.
That's right, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see if Penn and Teller have a handle on how you did it.
All right.
All right. Penn, Teller.
Which ones?
Present day.
Boy, could not be more flattering. It's just, no, I mean that sincerely. I'm saying that, boy, to have someone go to all that work, it's stunning and very humbling.
Oh, thank you.
You know, when they rate variety acts, ventriloquists are always down there near the bottom with magicians.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's usually mimes, balloon animals, ventriloquists, hypnotists, you know. And
I
then
think ventriloquists are actually much lower than...
Not hypnotists. Hypnotists are the absolute rock bottom. But if we're forced to put a ranking on them, I think we've done that. But boy, we're just flattered and just loved it. And I actually love Ventax. And I can't believe there's actually a puppet of me, and a puppet of me that'll be useful forever because I'll grow into it. But I think we may have given you enough there as we talked, didn't we?
From what you were saying, that you assumed that I forced the umbrella on.
Yeah.
No. There's no force involved.
There's no force at all.
No. It was a free choice, and it could have been any one of the emojis that was chosen, and any one of them could have appeared on the cloth.
So that means...
I guess that means you fooled us.
Yeah!
Blood on me? It's okay.
Thank you very much.
Jamie and James! Were you fooled by that last one? So we're Penn and Teller. We'll have more magicians mess with them when we come back. Stick around. One fuller has already been dealt. Can we make it a pair? Here's our next act.
Hi, it's Kelvin Chow here. I'm a magician and a card mechanic. I'm born and raised from Hong Kong. I was quite arrogant back then when I was a kid. I was pretty good at math and physics. I thought I know how the world works. And then I saw a guy who did a SpongeBob routine on the street, and it fooled me so badly. I just couldn't handle it. When the ball multiplied in my hand, it just blew me away. I was fascinated by how easy it is to deceive another person. And that's where I start to learn a lot more about magic. I create most of the trick I do. I hope I am gonna fool Penn Teller. If I can fool Penn Teller, I can convince my wife that my card trick is actually worth watching.
From Hong Kong, give it up for the card mastery of Kelvin Chow.
Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's Kelvin Chow here. Most people have this concept about magic, that they think magic happens in our hand. But actually, it's all up in your head. All magicians are doing is help you imagine the magic. Let me demonstrate. What I'm doing right now is merely putting this into a shape of a deck of cards. But once I told you this, and once you start thinking, it will actually pierce inside. Some of you may notice all the cards are still blank. There's nothing on them at the moment. And I need someone to help me out. Mr. Penn, would you mind? Now, there are 52 cards in the deck, yes?
Yes.
And there are number cards and picture cards.
Yes, there are.
Which one do you think would be more difficult to imagine, numbers or pictures?
For me, pictures.
And there are Jack, Queen, and King in the picture cards. Which one do you prefer?
I would go with Jack.
The Jack, and there are 4 suits in the Jack, right? Do you have a favorite?
I'll say clubs. Jack and clubs. Yeah.
This is a free choice, yes?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, everyone, I want you guys to imagine the card that I'm holding right now is actually the Jack of clubs. If you focus, you can see slowly. Changes into a Jack of clubs. This is the first one. Thank you. Since we're already thinking of jacks, let's imagine the other black jacks, shall we? The next black jack will be the Jack of spades. And this time, let's do it in slow motion. All you need to do is just stare at the center of the card. You can see some color will slowly appears, front and back. And the color will grow into a body, the head, and a complete Jack of spades. Now just 2 down, and 50 more to go. For the next jack, let's speed up a little bit. The next 2 would be the red jacks, and let's do them both together. Just imagine, those are the 2 red jacks. First, the jack of hearts, and the diamonds. Now, everyone, please, I want you to think of the card that you like. Imagine the card you're thinking of is somewhere in this pack. If you focus on your card, you can actually see the card you're thinking of will slowly appears. Not just 1, not just 2, but every single one of them. Thank you. Now, we have a deck of cards made with our imagination. There's actually quite a few special things you can do with this. And let's try this with the Ace of Diamonds here. And also brought here with me some special stickers that can help us with the imagination game. To use those stickers is really simple. All you need to do is just tape it on the Ace of Diamonds like this. Because of the design of the stickers, it actually creates a very special optical illusion. Because it looks like the back of the card, right? The stickers. Once it's placed on top of the deck, it looks like there's a hole on the Ace of Diamonds, right? But because this is an imaginary deck, once you think it's a reality, it becomes the reality. And now, let's try this one more time. If you have a good imagination, you don't even need to use the stickers. And let's try this with the 6 of clubs here. Just imagine the 6 of clubs as a whole, like the Ace of Diamonds. Just by merely thinking about it would be enough to change the reality. And if we all think about it together, we can even extend this to the entire pack. But remember, all of those are just your imagination. A moment ago, those were not even playing cards. Those were just some blank piece of paper, right? And once you stop thinking, they will actually change back to blank. Not just 1, not just 2, but every single one of them will go back to blank. Except for 1, and only 1. The Ace of Diamonds on the table. But just like the other, this is nothing but your imagination. So if you stop thinking about it, you can actually see the Ace of Diamonds slowly disappear. Because from the very beginning, there were only 2 things. Your imagination and a piece of paper.
Thank you. That was incredible. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing
Me too.
magic? Yeah, good. You should be.
Yes. Only a long time, about like 10+ years. I lose count.
Do you perform in Hong Kong?
A little bit. I'm not a professional, but sometimes I do get to do shows in Hong Kong.
Really? I feel like this will help you, right?
Yes, certainly. Certainly it would.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
And so what else do you do?
That's the problem with most magicians. We don't do much else besides magic.
Well, they're writing a lot. They're not talking to each other. They're just writing. What do you think?
I don't know. I did a bunch of tricks, and that's my strategy. There's like a whole bunch of them. I don't know how many of them can see through it.
How many tricks were there? Can you tell me that?
Oh, wow. I lost count myself.
All right. Let's see if Penn and Teller can figure out how you did all those tricks.
Absolutely.
All right, Penn, Teller.
Yeah, there's so many tricks in there that you couldn't count them, right?
Yes,
Is that what you said? There's a lot of tricks, and there's a lot of skill, and just crazy amounts of practice. I mean, just acrobatic, just amazing stuff going on. And also, I love the fact that there's a plot other than find a card. You know, there's nothing more powerful than just telling someone to name a card and then being able to do miracles with that. Because if you really had magical powers, you wouldn't say pick a card to get one, you'd say name one. And you did that. And then all the stuff is so visual and pretty and really, really nice. I like the fact that it's a visceral act and you get the audience gasping and doing stuff. And there are so many things on our notes. And there were so many puns and names we'd have to reference that I can't do it. There's a zillion things. So Teller has written down a few things that might enlighten you as to what we thought.
Oh, wow.
That's just Teller writing out that he's offering him money if he backs down.
Pretty much it.
So did Teller give you enough information? Do they know how it was done?
Yes, they did. Unfortunately.
Okay, well, thank you, Kelvin Chow.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to take a break, but we have to, so don't go anywhere. This next performer is a funny mentalist, but I bet he already knew that. Let's meet him.
I started off in show business very young. I was a child actor, and it just kind of went from there. I had a nice role in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I get beaten up by the turtles and slammed on the ground. And I got the part of Gino Tortelli on Cheers, and that lasted for the next few seasons. So I was in La Paz, Bolivia, and I'm walking on the street without any sense of looking for my next career at all. I saw a magician perform, and it just really inspired me. Here's somebody standing on the street corner who's giving a gift to people. I started thinking about magic in that way. To me, magic is this opportunity to bring some joy and wonder into people's lives.
Please welcome the sharp mind of Joshua Loza.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Wow. My name is Joshua, and I'm here right now because of something Albert Einstein said. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. So I brought something mysterious with me. This little wooden box. And it is for Allison. Would you join me over here? Allison Hannigan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Allison, you and I get to play a game together.
Exciting.
I know.
Thanks.
But first, would you like to know what is in your mysterious box?
Yes.
No.
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 No, of course
Because
not.
it would spoil the mystery.
Oh, true.
Exactly.
Oh.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
In this box is an animal. Here you go. In 3.5 minutes, you are going to tell everybody here which animal is inside of your box. How? I'm going to communicate it to you, but it'll be subtle. If it works, you won't even be consciously aware it's happening. But subconsciously, folks, Allison will find herself being moved to name one animal. No. Won't be that obvious. I'm horsing around. No. Forget I said anything. Let's play our little game.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a famous phrase, and then you will complete it. So if I said the itsy bitsy, audience, Allison would say? Fire. No. In this game, Allison, you get to say anything you want other than what is expected of you.
Oh.
Anything.
Okay.
So you might say the itsy bitsy.
Elephant.
Perfect. Exactly. You get the game. Okay. So looking right at me, nice and relaxed. I should also mention that the answers you give will tell us all a lot about you at a very deep personal level. And go.
No pressure.
Old MacDonald had a...
Chair.
Nice.
Thanks.
The boy who cried.
Dog. Oh.
Yeah. Well, you can get better. You have more chances. The Mary had a little.
Friend. No.
Last one.
I'm
this
trying
is your
to
chance.
rhyme.
That's right. It's okay. No. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is your last one, right?
Yeah. Oh, because it has to be an animal?
No, it doesn't have to be an animal.
Good.
It has to be whatever
Great.
you want it to be. Final one.
Okay.
He wouldn't hurt a...
Squirrel.
He wouldn't hurt a squirrel. Very nice. So, first off, you're a very interesting person. So that was harder than you thought it was going to be, right?
Yes.
Because you had to let go of years of expectations and then trust your own instincts.
Totally.
Also, something else happened, which I think some of the audience probably picked up on. I communicated some information to you with the words that I'm using, some of my gestures, and other very subtle techniques. Can we get the easel out here, please? And also the board.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, hi.
All right.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you, fellas.
Did he just have that lying around?
See? You can do this. You can do this. Allison, one of these animals is in that box. If I asked you to pick one right now, you could. You'd likely be wrong. Why? Because you'd be guessing.
Yes.
You don't have to guess. If everything we've done in the last few minutes has worked, you know which animal is written down in there, even if you don't know that you know. So I'm going to help you trust your instincts one more time. You can forget all the jokes, let go of all expectations, look over your options, and when I say now, call out the one that feels right to you at this moment. You know it. In 5, trust yourself. 4, now.
Duck.
Again, the one in the box is?
Duck.
Open it up there. There's a little clasp in the front. Does it say duck inside of the box?
It says for
It
Allison.
says for Allison, because this was always meant to be for you. Inside, there is an envelope. Yes, just one.
Yeah.
Sealed envelope.
Yeah.
Inside of there, you can open it up. There's one slip of paper. Is there only one in there? Yep, pull it. Make sure. And show everybody how amazing you did. You got it. I wasn't sure if you had. That was so good. Allison, ladies and gentlemen.
Joshua Alba!
Yes.
That was awesome.
Thank you. You did great.
Yay, so did you.
Oh, thank you.
Yay. I
It was
didn't
fun.
realize how hard the itsy bitsy part would be.
I know. It's like everybody thinks it's, but your mind has so many preconceptions. You're in a habit. It's a habit pattern that you break, and then apparently you get it right.
Hey, I'm a quick learner.
Nice.
So how did you get into magic?
Well, I had started doing some volunteer work around the world, and then one night in La Paz, Bolivia, so I saw a bunch of people gathered around something happening, and so it was a bunch of people gathered around a street magician, and I couldn't really see what he was doing. So what I had to do instead is watch the people watching him because I couldn't see him. And that's what inspired me, because they were laughing and they were smiling, and people who didn't know each other were talking to, did you see what that just, and I couldn't shake it. I got home and I still was thinking about it, and it stayed with me. And then I evolved into being here with you. And that's why I do mentalism, is because you know, I get to connect with people and have these moments that are about us rather than about necessarily just about stuff.
Yeah. All right, well, let's check in with Penn and Teller. Penn, Teller?
Well, Joshua, I want to compliment you, but I can't get to you before I talk about how good the guys in the lion and chicken suit were. Those were some good walking animal costumes. I felt like the chicken had a chicken quality and the lion had a lion quality. It was really, really nice. I love people in animal suits, and I love animals in people clothes. Both of those things amused me tremendously. I also like, mentalism, not our favorite. And it's usually dry and dull, and pick a number out of the phone book and multiply it by 20, and who's thinking of a house. And all that stuff about the itsy bitsy and all of that, putting all that stuff in her head, giving us other stuff to think about, to worry about. You gave us a lot to worry about. And you're also an experienced performer, which is very nice to see. You know about all the ins and outs of show business, and Teller and I, I'm afraid, after 43 years, perhaps we know more about the outs. But we've been on both sides of it, and it's good to see someone doing a great show like that. And
Thank you so much.
I want to say that I was going to go with turkey and not duck, and I don't think I would have screwed you up on that. I think you had me covered. So you have an idea what we're talking about?
Yes.
So you didn't fool them?
That's right. That's correct.
Oh, but you certainly entertained us.
And it was a treat to be with you, and a treat to be with you all.
Thank you,
so much. And
Joshua.
everybody here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We've barely scratched the surface. We'll reveal more fantastic magic after the break, including a performance by Penn and Teller. So stick around. Welcome back to Fool Us. We hide all our magicians from Penn and Teller until showtime, and then we roll a little video like this.
There are two Murray the Magicians. One's this mischievous Dennis the Menace of magic. My other side is a curator of magic history. When somebody finds a random magic box, I'm the guy they call. I love old Hollywood. I love old show business. In my collection, I have Jack Codell, the first magician to ever play Las Vegas. I have his actual tuxedo. I have a booth from the original Dunes Hotel. The chandelier above that is from the Frank Sinatra suite at the Riviera Hotel. The history of magic's really important to me because the magicians that came before us lit the path for us to follow. My mentor was Marvin Roy, a.k.a. Mr. Electric. Tonight, I'm going to pay homage by doing one of his signature effects he passed down to me. It's my way of letting the light shine on for Mr. Electric.
Please welcome Murray Sawchuck.
Penn, Teller, absolutely honored to be here. Thank you for having me on your show. And as you had in your life, your teacher and mentor, the legendary Mr. Johnny Thompson, I had a mentor as well, Marvin Roy, Mr. Electric. He went by on stage. And the reason why is because he lit light bulbs in the palm of his hand. For 50 years, he toured the world lighting light bulbs. It was a phenomenal act with him and his wife. He played the Lido in Paris. He opened the Stardust Casino here in Las Vegas. He toured with Liberace for over 5 years, played Radio City Music Hall in New York City, an absolute legend. He's still alive. He's 92, living in Palm Springs, California. And he was nice enough to donate and give me one of his effects from his act to perform. And that's what I'm going to do this evening. It involves a 500-watt light bulb and a pitcher of milk. Let's do it.
So how old is that trick?
That trick is over 60, 70 years old, that version, and that's the version he came up with many years ago. There was an older version before that, the little lampshade and a lamp, and he wanted to make it where it was just a bulb and a cord.
So you're sort of a historian as well, I take it.
I love old magic. I love the history of magic. I'm a fan of all the greats that we grew up to, from Ballantyne to Thurston to Houdini. I'm a huge fan, because without them, we wouldn't be here today in magic, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. That's so cool that you're keeping the traditional magic alive.
I try to. You know, I think that's how you learn. You learn from the past, and that's how you reinvent things or better things, or at least learn from the legends from behind.
All right, well, let's check in with the boys. Penn, Teller.
You know, we know an awful lot about the act, so we would have used that in the code to sneak in Roy and Mark. We know a lot about that. Great to see that act. It's just really great to see.
It's an amazing piece.
And those are the actual props?
Those are the actual props.
Oh.
And I have old footage of him teaching me in Palm Springs because I wanted him to actually touch them and wanted to see him actually just do it, and it was great. You know, he's 92, but it was just great because he did everything just the way you would normally he'd do it when he toured, you know.
Also, you know, and you forget how many provers there are on the milk pitcher.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, there's all those provers that really do sell it completely,
yes.
and that you did beautifully, just
yes.
did beautifully.
Oh well, thank you.
And it's just gorgeous props, but you know. We know the illusion.
Of course you do.
We're so glad you came out and did it.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations to you. Thank you again. Thanks again. All right. See you later.
Coming up, our headliners let loose. Penn and Teller appear next. The show is almost over, and we've saved the best for last. Here are the longest-running headliners in the history of Las Vegas, Penn and Teller.
We love what we do. We'd like to go on fooling people forever, even after we're dead, especially after we're dead. And for that, we need your help. Here's all you have to do. Get yourself somewhere that has internet access. Get yourself a deck of cards, have a pen and an envelope handy. Invite your friend over. Hey, friend, want to see a card trick? No, this is going to be great. Look at that deck of cards. Look at them. They're all different. Now, good. Shuffle them up any way you want. Shuffle them up really good. When you're done shuffling them, put them face down right here. Now, do you know what time it is? Okay, take this envelope. Take the card you shuffle to, put it in the envelope, drop it right in there, and then seal it up. And write your name. Now put it in your pocket. Beautiful. You know, I sure do love magic. My favorite magician were those old guys. You know, the ones with a TV show called I'm Making a Fool Out of Myself? Too bad about them, huh? Oh, didn't you hear? They were doing this trick where they catch bullets in their teeth underwater with sharks, and they had a bad night. They're gone. I'm sure it's true. I saw it on TMZ. See for yourself. Here, let's open a search engine right here. Now just type in Penn and Teller grave. Now, check this out. There it is right there. Take a look at that. Right there. Yeah. There's their grave right now. Now, what does it say there? Take out that envelope, that card you cut to. After you shuffled the deck, you put the card in the envelope, right? And you put your name on it, and you sealed it. What card is that there? It's the same card that's on the grave, the 3 of clubs. Even from the grave, Penn and Teller have fooled you again. Now, there you go. What could be better? The punchline to a card trick delivered from beyond the grave. And you don't even have to wait until we're dead, although that'll make it even better. So how does it work? You use a card force, a really great one. Before your friend comes over, take the 3 of clubs and place it just underneath the envelope. Have your friend examine the cards. Have your friend shuffle the cards. When you ask them, what time is it, that's called misdirection. It gives them something to think about while you pick up the envelope with the card and lay it right on top. They think it's the card they shuffle to, but it's really the top card, the 3 of clubs that I put down with the envelope. Have them take that card, put it in the envelope, write down the time they just thought of, and then seal it up. Then all you've got to do is go to the internet and type in Penn and Teller grave. All those photos, you know where those are from? We didn't Photoshop a lot of fake pictures. Nope. That's a real grave marker at one of the coolest and most beautiful cemeteries in the world. Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles. Yeah, we get a grave before we're dead. And it'll be there long after, kind of forever. That means if you live in Southern California, or if you're vacationing there with family or friends, you can do the trick in an even more spectacular way. You can take your friend to our real, no-kidding grave at real, no-kidding Forest Lawn, visit a couple of movie star graves, then you'll discover our monument. And just to show you the kind of reaction you might get, take a look at this video that was sent to us by a family who tried it on their children.
Did you bring an envelope with you?
Do I open it?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is that? The magic trick that they did. What?
Screaming and running. That's what you want in a great magic trick. We call this our eternal card trick. If you use it to fool your children, then teach it to them, they can pass it along to their children as a family tradition. And as long as that continues, Teller and I will live on. If only in this trick. Buried like a time capsule, burning like the flame on JFK's grave, helping your great grandchildren make fools of their friends. And that thought, well, that warms our hearts. Good night.
The legend of Penn and Teller will live on forever, but we're done for now. From all of us at Fool Us, good night.